everybody, it's Jerry, and today I'm going to show you how to make financiers. These are little tea cakes traditionally done with ground almonds. I'm going to do it with pistachios, and it's going to have a raspberry filling and a matcha buttercream frosting. The mold that I'm using is this one. They're all different kinds of financier molds, different numbers of cakes in them, different sizes, different shapes. So you may or may not have a financier pan like this. You could probably just use a muffin tin if you don't have that. And so the recipe that I'm going to show you is for 8 financiers this size. So you could alter it depending on how many you're making and what the size of your mold is. And let me show you how to do it.
So we're going to start by making the raspberry filling. We're going to take a 6-ounce package of raspberries, place them in a food processor, and just grind that until it's all completely liquid. And then we want to remove the seeds, so we're going to place it through a strainer into a saucepan. And just mix the puree with a spoon, which will push the liquid through the strainer. And just keep stirring it until you've gotten most of the liquid through the strainer, and then you can just discard the seeds. Now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of agave to the raspberry puree, and heat this up over medium heat and continue stirring so nothing gets burned, and eventually it'll start to thicken just a little bit. You just want it nice and soupy, but not too thick, and then cool it and chill it and save that for later. Next, we're going to brown the butter. So we're going to take 1/3 of a cup of vegan butter, and it needs to be a vegan butter that is nut-based, and I like Miyoko's, and heat it up over medium heat until it starts to get nice and golden brown. And then just remove that from the heat and let that chill, or let it cool. Next, we're going to take 1/2 cup of aquafaba and 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. Place that in a stand mixer and just beat that until it gets nice and white and frothy. And then we're going to add 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, just a little bit at a time. Just continue beating as you add the sugar, and once the sugar is completely incorporated, then we can add in the brown butter. Just slowly pour that in, continue beating, and just continue mixing it until everything is completely incorporated. Next, we're going to take 1/3 of a cup of pistachios in a food processor and just grind that until they're completely ground down. And place those in a bowl, and we're going to add our flour mixture. So we're going to use 3 tablespoons of brown rice flour, 3 tablespoons of millet flour, and 3 tablespoons of tapioca flour, along with 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. Mix that all together. And then we can pour in our aquafaba mixture. And just mix that with the dry ingredients. That'll form a batter that we can then chill for 30 minutes, and it'll get nice and thick. So we can place that in a pastry bag if you have one, or just spoon it onto the bottoms of the financier molds. Just spread it out with a knife. And then take the raspberry filling and pipe that on the centers. You may not use all of it. and then pipe more of the batter, the remaining batter, on top of the raspberry filling. And again, we're going to spread that out with a knife. Just cover it as best you can. And then we're going to bake at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. Now we're going to make the frosting. So we're going to take half a cup of cashews that have been soaked overnight, add 3/4 cup of water, a tablespoon of matcha powder, and a 1/4 cup of sugar. And then we're just going to blend that until that's all nice and smooth and liquidy. And then pour that into a saucepan. And we're going to heat that up over medium heat. And meantime, we're going to take 2 tablespoons of kudzu and add a 1/4 cup of cold water. And just mix that together until everything is nice and dissolved. And then we can set that aside. Meantime, we're going to whisk the cashew mixture just to make sure that nothing burns. It's going to start to thicken as the cashews cook. And once it comes to a boil, we're going to pour in the kudzu mixture. And now we can lower the heat and just continue cooking that over low heat, and it'll thicken. And then we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of agar-agar powder, or if you don't have the powder, you have a tablespoon of flakes, would be about the equivalent. And then continue just mixing that until it's all dissolved, and then we're going to cool it and chill that. And once it's chilled, we're going to take a 1/4 cup of vegan butter, and you want something that is nice and firm. Again, I like the Miyoko's for this purpose. And put that in a stand mixer and just beat that until it's nice and smooth. And then we're going to add in a little bit of the chilled cashew mixture, a little bit at a time, and just continue beating that until everything is incorporated. Just keep adding it a little bit at a time until you've added it all. And once it's nice and smooth, we're gonna check the consistency. It's probably gonna be pretty thin at this point. So we're gonna put that back into the refrigerator and chill it until it's nice and thick. And then we can come back and beat that again. And just whip it up until it's nice and light and airy. And then we're ready to use it as the frosting, so we can put that into a piping bag. And pipe the frosting on top of the cooled Financiers. And they're ready to serve.
Thanks everybody for watching. Please tune in next time for some more recipes, and remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.